What's good, Kenganda? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back with a big interview today, and I'm thankful for having you here today. I have a brother that I would consider one of the greatest mentors of the Kenganda channel. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have this channel to what it is today. He don't really take no credit for a lot of the stuff that he's done in the Black YouTube sector, but he really gave us our first start here on the platform. But we all know who he is. I'm gonna let him introduce who he is to the people today.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you once again for inviting me, Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson, the man with all kind of jobs, because trying to run a business and then trying to also be a content creator and trying to make sure everybody good is more stressful than what people realize. It's much easier actually to work a job and collect a paycheck than actually run it. That's for sure. But I'm Philip Scott. Not much really need to know about me. Been doing this just for a hot minute. African Diaspora News Channel is one of my main channels. We got the Philip Scott podcast, which is more so about American politics, more so Black American politics. Philip Scott Shows Our Entertainment channel. We have the Black Congregation channel. We also have our website, AfricanDiasporaNews.org. We got launched our new app. You can get in Apple and Google. Just got to sign up for membership while you're there. But I'm not here to also talk about me. Just want to talk about some topics, because O'Shea got a lot in his head.
All right, give him a round of applause, editors. And so again, I like to give Brother Phil his flowers, because when I first had the idea of Kenganda, it was him and Kellen that I first came, and they gave us an opportunity to even be where we are today, and gave me a lot of information about how to run the YouTube channel and do things like this. So because Phil is such an expert in the business world, he also has done very well in the African world doing things like this. So Phil, I want to know, because a lot of African Americans, you brought a lot of attention to Africa from your first trip to Ethiopia till now, and a lot of people want to know, is Africa worth me trying to get relocated or doing something there on the continent and things like that?
It's definitely great, because you look at your major competitors, right? CNN International is there. You look at Al Jazeera, you look at all the major outlets, movie studios, Netflix has a whole Africa division. Everybody, the music industry, everybody is going over there. So if they're doing it and they're multi-million, billion-dollar corporations, then obviously there's something there, right? So we always last to the party. The folks go there first, benefit off of the cultures there, off of the people. And even when you see the people like, Mr. Beast and all these other people even giving things in the continent, right? How much more we can even do that as well to give back. So we should be there, because it's not only plenty of opportunities, but it's also we can connect with the people where the folks can't. The folks going there to make money. We can connect with the people. We also can make money, but at the same time, we care about our people enough to put some money in their back pockets to feed their families. Because, it's hard out there, in some places where unemployment is 50+%. So we can be a blessing to the continent by not only opening up a business, but hiring the locals. So they don't have to, worry about, trying to sell something for the day and coming home empty handed.
One of the things that people don't know about you is not only do you provide opportunities, you do a lot of mentorship, with not only African-American creators, but African creators. And so I want to talk about that, because so many people will say, well, you know what, Phil, there's a lot of opportunities in Black America. You're in a big Black city. We can do things here. Why do we need to even consider stopping what we're doing to consider going into a place where it might be a little bit more difficult? You don't understand things. It's a lot of red tape, bureaucracy is there. How do you combat that with some of the issues that maybe you have faced trying to do things on the continent?
Many are called, a few are chosen. And what I mean by that is you may not be called to expand yourself internationally. Even if you was doing something in Asia, if you was doing something in Europe or Latin America, you may only be called to do something right in your city or your state or your country. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just called to do something a little bigger than that, right? So if you feel that you're not called to do that, then you be the best in whatever city you at. God bless you. I love you. But for me, I just feel that after my first trip to Ethiopia, or just, traveling to even different countries, even when I went to Turkey, I got a lot of love out of Turkey as well. Right. So just wherever I go, I get love and respect. And I feel that, hey, we need to take this show on the road and do different things. Now you mentioned mentorship. I never charge nobody for that, and I won't charge nobody for that. You can't buy it. If you try to buy it, I'm gonna put it at a price you can't afford it. Because I don't want the folks to come by and think that they can buy my knowledge. and then turn around and take my knowledge, which has happened to other black people before, and then now they making millions and billions of dollars off of my knowledge. No, you can't have it. Either I'm gonna give it away for free, or I just don't give it at all. And that's really kind of how I look at it. So anybody that's kind of worked around me or whatever, if I see a need or I want to invest into them, hey, I'll give them some advice, and it's for free, so they could take it, they can leave it. So no, I don't charge for that. But no, you can't say, can you mentor me? No, I have to see something in you. I feel enough that okay, and I don't even look at it as mentorship. I really don't. I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to give you some good advice. If you the first time you say I don't want to hear that, my mouth is shut.
Right. So let me get into, I remember when the African Diaspora came out, was the Advice show. And I believe the first time I really started getting into contact with you was you already had made your first trip to Ethiopia. Right. What about that first trip to Ethiopia got you feeling like, okay, I'm going to eventually be in Africa doing the African Diaspora News Channel?
I think that was at the end of the trip when I'm about to come back to the United States. I say, okay, so I got to do something more than what I'm doing, So when I was back on, Ethiopian Airlines heading back, I was like, okay, something got to change, something got to give. So I thought about it, when I got back to America, I still thought about it. I said, you know what, I laid in my bed, went to sleep. It just came to me, what to change the channel name to, and what the direction is going to be. And, so I did that. And immediately the day I did it, I lost 3,000 subscribers that day.
I remember that.
And I say, let them go. Okay. I got back way more than 3,000.
Yeah. I believe you probably got back some of them.
Yeah, a lot of them came back because they said, what did they say to me? I was kind of mad, but y'all put out such good stuff. I had to come back and say, that's fine. You can temporarily pause your subscription. You'll be back. I'll still love you.
Okay. So they came back and you're still doing very well and you're embarking on taking the business into Africa.
It's not, let me correct you. It's not taking the business. We already doing things.
We've been doing things in Africa. Yeah. Taking it in the business of Africa more. Let's just say that, more expanding there. What have it's been some of your for people who may want to know about some of the hurdles that they may need to overcome in doing things on the continent? What are some of the hurdles that you have faced, and what are some of the situations you have faced on your way to doing?
Sometime I've noticed some of the banking when you're sending money definitely from the U.S. to different countries. I know Nigeria, you got to be real careful with sending money there. So, because I do have a person in Nigeria doing some work for us, but they have a USD account. Now I notice Africans are getting more USD accounts because they say the money go a lot further with a USD account versus the accounts in their currency. Yeah, like the Naira or whatever. So I think probably because I don't have an issue with the Nigeria. I know when people get money from Nigeria, sometimes the bank shut their accounts down. So that's something you need to think about, some of you Nigerians. Another thing, some countries, you got to have a citizen of that country on your board of your company. Okay. The reason why that's a problem is because, let's say if for some reason y'all don't work together no more, then you're gonna have a problem, right? You gotta hurry up and find somebody and go through their paperwork and pay the money and all that sort of thing. Now, I think South Africa, you don't have to do that, but just like America, any foreigner can come to America and start a business. They don't need an American citizen on there. So I think that alone kind of slows down business a little bit. I can only speak about Kenya on that one. Shout out to Kenya. I love Kenya, the Kenyan people. Y'all treated me so well. My family loves Kenya. They really do. But that's just business wise, that's the only thing that I can run into so far that I've had. But outside of that, Kenya is a great country to definitely do some business. Nairobi is a great city. And shout out to all of y'all. I met some great journalists in Nairobi. Man, I've been on TV a few times there, so, A24, shout out to y'all, and KBC and, other outlets. So, outside of that, we get through any difficulties. Like in America, you got your difficulties, but we're not going to complain. We're going to keep going.
Okay. Here's something that I felt like you've done pretty good. And even myself too, but I've seen you do this time and time again. How do you find talent in the business? Because a lot of people are probably going to wonder about that. They come in here starting a business, but Brother Phil always is able to find talent and regenerate talent, even from the States. How do you qualify your talent for the operation?
Well, for me, I guess, how a person has an ear for music. I have an ear for people's voice in certain instances, even if you got, look, I kind of like people that has 1 or 2 subscribers. I love those people. I don't like established content creators because usually ego comes with that. Yes. But when they don't have a subscription base, but I'm hearing what they're doing on their own, even if they got 10 views, I hear something from them. So I'm like, let's try that person. Now, once you try the person, some people just turn out to be great, and then some people, they may want to focus more on the money aspect. I tell you, the money gonna come. Just focus on building, right? Build. And there's quite a few people that's came through and they built up or they branched off to different things or different opportunities, and they come behind the scenes and say, man, if I was on your show, I would have got this opportunity or that opportunity. I say, hey, I'm proud of you. That's what I want you to do. Now, some people, when they get to the money, some of them, it changes them. Some of them understand that, hey, I'm going to still be humble no matter what money comes to me, and that's the people I love, just the humble people. I don't like people that's all trying to pop the collar. I don't like that. But, we always looking for or listening for new people, because, hey, I don't want to do it forever. I'd rather go sit down eventually.
Okay. Let's talk about that, because you said something very important and I think a lot of people, when they think about Africa or coming to Africa, some of us could be looking at it as, okay, it's a money grab. And some people have not done business. Like you've been in this business even longer than me. And even I learned a lot from you when I was trying to come up myself. And one of the things you said is, just worry about being consistent and building and the money will come. But you have a lot of people who have been, looking at some of these videos, so many people in Africa, and now they want to come to Africa. So probably their first time in business, and what they're looking at is profits and not understanding how the business goes day to day. What advice can you give entrepreneurs who might not have ever ran a business but want to do a business in Africa? What advice can you give them on how to establish their workflow, staying consistent and worrying about the money later?
Well, I will say the story of the tortoise and the hare. If you're trying to be the hare, you're going to crash and burn real quick. And because some people unfortunately want to just get rich quick stuff, that just don't work. You can't dedicate at least 5 years to anything you're doing and want to see that through, then just don't do it. And I will say, you're coming from the diaspora, whether you're in the UK, somewhere in Europe, the Americas, wherever, if you can do business in America, you can do business in Europe, do business in the Caribbean, wherever you're at in the diaspora. And if you have found a success there, then I would say now you can go and invest your time and building people, and just understand that business is people. It's not just money and all that. Invest in people. I tell people that, based on percentages, I pay people way more than what experts say I should be paying them for what we do. Even in the African continent, my people that work with me, because they don't work for me, the people that work with me, I pay them no different than our American employees. Everybody's paid the same, because just because someone's in the African continent doesn't mean they should get paid less. Now, a true capitalist would be like, I ain't got to pay you that because X, Y, and Z, right? But no, that's not the way we do things. We do things the same, right? And when you invest in the people, what I've learned, people will do a lot more for you than what you ask. People have no problem working extra if you ever ask them to, which is, I've never did that too much, right? If you come up with bonus programs for your people to give them things, I'm always trying to come up with things to give them and incentivize them, because I know how it was when I worked in corporate America. Hey, when they give us a bonus, we want to work harder, right? Between bonus programs we have and just making sure our people are taken care of, or making sure our people get paid, when they're supposed to get paid. If you invest in people, trust me, the money will come. You don't have to focus on money.
And I'm taking a flashback back to 2018 to 2019. When I asked you about this channel, I said, Phil, I got a great idea called Kenganda. And the first thing you told me, if you can't do that for 4 years, don't do it. Don't do it.
5, actually.
4 or 5 years, something like that. Sorry, I'm getting old now. So, and now we're going, next month is our 5th year. So you told me that in 2018. And so a lot of people that, again, may look at what's going on in the business world, they think it's going to be a year or two. When you, especially if you're coming here and you're starting a new enterprise, let's say from the ground up. I was already in this business, before I came here and tried to start Kenganda, but it took me another 5 years just to even get profitable on this channel. So what you're saying is right. Let me kind of talk about this for some people that are new entrepreneurs, because you're an excellent one. Now, you only just do this, you're just great in business all around. I mean, you've always been known for running a great platform. You've been at the top of the food chain for how to run the system. And I kind of modeled a lot of my stuff when I started going in. We both went, I think, the celebrity around the same time. I think when you went to the Phil Scott and I went to the Celebrity Junk. But the workflow of, how you was teaching me how to do things back in the day, he's like, look, y'all too busy going on live stream. By the time y'all get off live live, I'd already done cut 6-7 videos. You know what I mean? You need to stop, and so that's what I started to do now. And I use that method right now because you showed me that workflow. What I want to know is from people who've never ran a business before and they want to get into business, what are some of the steps that they need to take in an industry? If you were just starting afresh, and they wanted to get themselves ready to come to Africa, what are some of the main things that they need to do if they've never started a business or ran the business before? What are some of the things they should learn in the States before they want to embark on going to Kenya or anywhere else?
They need to make sure they have a constant flow of income to pay your bills. So like when I started doing this, I didn't quit my petrochemical job. I kept it. Okay. The whole time I was doing YouTube and building this thing up, I kept my job. Why? Okay. If it never takes off for you, then you still got to pay your bills. Right. And then it got to the point I was using money from that, bonuses I was getting from the job, whatever, putting into this. So keep your job until your business on the side is paying way more and taking care of your lifestyle times 3, I would say. Then you could say, okay, let me switch over to my business full time than just the job I have. So what I see a lot of people make mistakes, even all of a sudden they get in their emotions and want to just up and move to the continent. They don't have a constant flow of money. And then they thinking $10,000 or $20,000 is going to make it for the rest of their life on the continent. I'm like, no, that's not going to get it. You got to have income. So figure out, for instance, if you start a restaurant here, let's say Leroy's Soul Food. Now, Leroy's Soul Food is packed, right?
Right.
Now you go over there to Kampala. You want to go open up Leroy's Soul Food. That's actually pretty good. Leroy's doing good over here in Atlanta. Well, shoot, now you're going to do Leroy's over there. And actually, you can go hire a lot of people. And then, but the thing is, when you bring Leroy's Soul Food to Kampala, you establish American customer service, because we know in the continent, we know about some of the customer service. Now, in my business, we operate like American. We don't do that late stuff. No. We don't want to hear that. Well, this is Africa. I don't want to hear that. I'll file you behind if you tell me that. We have certain rules, because expectations. You expect to get paid a certain day, right? You don't want to hear me talking about, well, it's, no, you'll say, hey, want my money, right? So we expect you to do things for our customers, and our customers in this business is the viewers, right? We expect things to do it right. We don't want to hear no excuses. Let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? So if you own a clothing store, if you own whatever, the customer is always right. Your audience is just about always right too. If they listen, I've had to get rid of people at times, not because I didn't like them, because the audience didn't like them. If your audience don't like them, what could I do? They're not going to watch you. So I got to kind of, but major TV do that. If you got a show on TV, they may like the show, but if people don't like it, what happens? It's gone.
Yes.
So the people controls everything. So y'all got the power to dictate. That's when y'all say about why y'all can't show more positive content, O'Shea. Let O'Shea go show a thing about how to adopt a child out of an orphanage in Kampala. Watch what he get. Then he go do a video about why Africans don't like African Americans. Then watch this. You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, especially if you try to have something about business or something like you've always talked about that. The views are low. Yeah. So, and you still try to give a value episode knowing that it's not going to have a lot of interaction, but you still try to do it anyway. But no, it makes sense. Let me get to the point of, that having constant income and having that also there. But then again, like you said, in Africa, and this is no diss to anybody in Africa, but again, the lack of accountability can be there. And
if you allow it,
what'd you say?
If you allow it.
If you allow it, right? Let's talk about that, because I've had to learn that it has been a challenge, where things are more lackadaisical here, okay? And how do you address that? Because some people, there's equity in the business. When I mean, like, some people come in at different levels than others, right? Not equality, but equity. So some people are more professional than others, just like anywhere else. So for those people who have the talent, but for whatever reason, they're still stuck in the rut. How do you address that and trying to get that person to improve?
Yeah. So what I do is, if they're not doing what I expect them to do, the first thing I'm gonna do is ask them, like, okay, you didn't get it done. What's going on? Is it something you don't know? Is it something I need to teach you, or maybe I need to, is it a class I need to get you in? Like, what can I do to help you? Okay. Right. Great. Now, once I know I've done everything on my end to help you to fix the issue, whatever that may be, and then you still doing things, and I'm gonna ask you again, hey, what's going on? You know, I'm just hey, you know, anything else I need to do? Do you not understand? Is it miscommunication? Is it? I try everything in my power to fix it for you, right?
Right.
And if you pulling stunts like I'm sending you work and now you're not responding to 2 or 3 days later,
oh my goodness,
or not work not getting done on time or whatever, and I made sure that you understood what the deadlines were or whatever, then at that point you're telling me that you're not prioritizing what we have going on here, and that's okay, because everybody's at different points in their life. So I want to make sure at that point to free you, you know, of the responsibilities of what we have here, so you can go on and prioritize what you need, and then I'll make sure that you get your pay. I'm not going to screw you like that. Whatever work you did, you're going to get your pay. And, you know, hey, I'm going to wish you the best, you know, and that's okay, because we need people that's going to prioritize this. That's all.
How now in your, for me, I very rarely have to let people go. I think maybe it's happened all of 2 or 3 times in 5 years, something like that.
Right.
But on average, do you feel like that what you guys do as far as a team, you have a really great team, that you're able to pretty much, you know, get a lot of good results from the people that you partner with that work with you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody is cool. Most everybody is mature. You know what I see. You know, it's rare if I deal with anybody else immature. You know, from the petrochemical industry, what they usually like to do is try to hire people who are married, and now I see why. Yes. When a man or a woman has a family, there's a certain maturity level they have. Yes. And they're like, hey, I got to provide for my wife. I got to provide for my kids. Or the wife is thinking a lot different and more mature level. But not to say a person who's single can't be mature. Not saying that, but I've just kind of seen that over the years, just dealing with the people that work with me. That a lot of your mature people, or even the person's not married, but they were married before in their life, or they're different ages that they may be a little bit more mature, because when you're dealing with a 25, 24-year-old, if they're old soul, maybe, but when they kind of at that age, they're cool, but they have the maturity. That's the only thing I'm looking for is maturity. But there's a lot of mature 25, 26, 27-year-olds. I'm not saying that. I love y'all. I love y'all to death. Trust me. We need the young people. Trust me. We need it. But it's just more so maturity, if anything else. Right. Okay. And you give us some really great information. And again, I used to always tease you, like, you feel, you know, I'm out here. You ain't out here yet. He's like, nah, don't worry, I'm on my way. And then I was like, man, you know, he might be out here, but just the things I've seen you adjust, as far as, you know, you have a wine girl. O'Shea, come on, let's tell the truth now. Let's tell the truth. What did I tell you about the journey you was about to embark? What did I say to you? You told me a lot. I don't know, but this one, I don't know. What did you tell me? When we got to having that discussion about Kenganda in itself, and you discussing what's in Kenya versus what Uganda. Yeah. And I told you, okay, the route you gonna go, you about to go up that hard road. I said, but you can do it. You told me, yes, sir. Look, I'm not lying. I told him to do Kenganda out of Nairobi. Yes, you did. Because I have a thing about the ease of doing business. But hey, he wanted to do it, and God bless him. God bless him. You don't worry, Uganda. We still love you, but I have several videos on Kenya versus Uganda, and Kenya always wins. But again, you've really been a big blessing to me. You're always person I always love to shout out and tell the story about how you helped me. You know, I know we've been collaborating, especially we both went into celebrity at the same time. Yeah, but, you know, you just showed me how to do the workflow. You showed me how to build, just from listening to talking to you almost every day for about at that time, how to do the business every day from how I was doing it, how to run a professional studio, you know, and I don't think I would be able to do that if I didn't know you. So when you give people the information, I was talking to Brother Jay Cameron before our interview. I said, listen, is there anybody in Black YouTube that you need to talk to Phil Scott over at African Diaspora? And I said, cause if you talk to him, okay, you know, because he gonna let you know how things work every day, how you need to do the business every day. And every time when I teach people, and I teach them what you taught me, you know, as far as, you know, how to be a professional in this and what you need to do. And when I used to have issues with some people on my staff, I would be able to call you and you'd be able to pretty much, you know, real quick, no, this person needs to be doing this, and no, this person should be doing that. And
And this is how you handle X, Y, and Z. And it was real quick. And people don't really know that about you. And they don't know how much of a blessing that you've been to a lot of people in this business all across the world, just being a really nice, great person. But I want people to know it. And I said sometime in my videos, even people know me, like, ain't all the time me and Phil ain't got along either. But I always wanted to give him the flowers of being a good brother, and he didn't have to do it. So that's why I always want to give Phil, I love you. I thank you for what you've done for me. I thank you for what you've done for us at Kenganda. And then we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I want everybody to know that.
No.
Hardly. No, we wouldn't.
Y'all wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be for you. I didn't do the work. I didn't spend the money.
No,
we got to tell the truth. I didn't do the work. I didn't spend the money. I didn't put my hair out.
If you didn't give me the opportunity, I would have closed it down a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember that story. I would
have closed it down a long time ago. So that's why I said, I want to give you, because you gave us a shot. So to see that we could still do it. So that part, of course, I did all the work. But you always have helped Black people, man, all in this business. And I've helped a lot of people too, but people don't know how many that you have helped. People give me credit for the ones I didn't help, but for what you've done, man, it's amazing. You're an excellent entrepreneur. I don't know people know that side of you, of how just dynamite you are as a business person. But and just how you've been able to just do so well in business for so long, and things change and you still very efficient. It's amazing, man, to see how you have continued to do so well over the years.
Well, let me respond to that. I've seen your maturity as well. Because I mean, at one point in time, somebody say something to you and you ready to go on a 4 or 5 hour cuss out. Now you just kind of, and that's good. That shows maturity, or how you turn Kenganda around. At first, it was kind of like, oh man, but then you kind of, got in your head to revamp and do the Repat podcast and put that together, so it's good to see creativity, on your part to say, well, I need to revamp something or change something up. Maybe you got to move some chess pieces around behind the scenes. That happens too. That makes a difference. That behind the scenes, trust me, the behind the scenes, and you understand this, behind the scenes is actually more important than what people see on camera. So it takes a lot, it takes a lot of maturity, patience, because you're dealing with people. And sometimes like, oh God, like you just sometimes at night just like this, and you're like, you know what? I hope you're taking a vacation. Do you take a vacation sometime, O'Shea?
No, I'm gonna get my hairline done.
No, my brother. That's what you. Now I got to use coaching on this interview. Your mental health is very important. You cannot perform without optimal mental health. So I had to learn this the hard way. You got to take a vacation, at least a week. You should have your team well enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go for a week. Y'all handle it. And it's beautiful when you can do that. Take a week off, go somewhere, have a good time, trick off, do you. Yeah, and then you come back like, all right, I'm ready to get back to work. You got to do that, or your business will start suffering because you aren't taking the time you need to recharge.
Yeah, no, I need to do that. And again, Phil has given me a lot of advice. He's about the only one that has really taught your boy this stuff. But no, I'm gonna get my hairline redone, brother.
There you go.
My hairline.
Yeah, go to Istanbul. They take care of you.
Yeah. So
get your teeth done while you're at it. You want to get your teeth done? I know somebody you can go to.
Yeah, look, I need to get all that done. So last question, man, because again, you talked about behind the scenes, and that's one thing I think that me and you as creators, we are pretty strong in that, which is being organized behind the scene, understanding the business from, the everyday operations outside of the camera. And some people in the business don't understand how to get prepared for the next day, or how to get prepared for the next week, or how to reinvest into the business and things like that. How did you get good at just managing a business every day behind the scenes, or in our business is the behind the camera, but just how to put the organizations and the systems together to build the business around you on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, see what you just said, systems. Systems are very important, or your standard operating procedure. You got to have a standard operating procedure for everything you do, whether it's, hey, I'm filming at this time, or, like for instance, recently I just instituted something with my people about scheduling, right? So that's something I instituted, that we can have content coming up at the same time every day. It's like clockwork, it's just coming up with systems. And once you develop your own system that works for you, because my system may not work for you and your system may not work for me, but once you develop a personal system, what time you need to wake up in the morning, what time you need to go to bed, when you need to take vacation. I'm married, so I got to definitely spend time with my wife, right? Spend time with my kids. You got to have a perfect, a proper life balance, because you do too much work and your relationship gonna suffer. Your kids' relationship gonna suffer. Everything's gonna suffer, right? So you got to make sure you just have a perfect work balance. Play hard, work hard. You know what I'm saying? But there's also, like, say, your system. And like you got people. Your people should be a blessing to you. If you're doing more work and got people, then maybe you need to start bringing other people in to make your life easier. You understand? Because paying people should make your life easy, and you're not doing much ass work. Now, you always gonna be involved. Don't think you're gonna just take your hands off of it.
Right.
But you should not have to do their job, this one per job, that one job. And I shouldn't be getting upset with you. I'm not going to yell at you. I don't yell at nobody. I just don't do that. I just want to smile and watch the work done. That's it.
Yeah, and I remember when you were editing the majority of your when I first met you. Yeah, I was like, he's editing. I was like, Phil, get somebody to edit them videos, man. So, and I seen just that transition, and just again, when it comes to doing the business behind the scenes, you're probably the best that I have seen. Just in general, like not only in just this platform, Facebook, everything, just getting the business organized, knowing where people supposed to be at, what's supposed to be done, you know, all throughout. This person's doing this person's doing that. And people don't know that's a talent within itself, because a lot of people in our business, they're just good like making the video, being very charismatic, but they can't build a system. And so, you know, the views.
They don't build a team is what it is. Right. Like your team is everything. Like once you get to a certain point, you can't do it by yourself. Like, I know like when Brother Kevin was alive, right? And I'll see how hard Brother Kevin was working. I'm like, man, he's doing a lot. You know, I was looking at it, right? I know, you know, he had started getting help toward the end, but he still was doing a lot. You know, that
we were editing his videos toward the end. Kenganda was editing. We were editing his videos toward the end.
That's what I'm saying. He was starting to get help. But I'm saying it's like, you know, your team, like I say, your team is everything. Like I say, it's your team. It's your CPA is gonna be very, very important to you too. Oh yes, your CPA, man, you better have that stuff right. I learned the hard way about that. You know, because at first, my poor wife. Thank God for my poor wife. She was doing the taxes on her own, and it got to a point like, oh no. So we figured it out. Like, trust me, I've been through the ups and downs of the IRS. I ain't got no problems with them, but I went through. Oh boy, how sometimes I learned don't be getting PayPal money in your PayPal. Because if you what happened to IRS one time with me is I turned all my receipts in, and they hit me one time, the IRS, like, oh, you didn't report $90,000. I said, oh hell no, because you don't want the IRS telling you didn't report something, because boy, you don't want that problem. So I had to fight with the IRS, man, and then later they're like, oh, it was our mistake. Like, oh man, so I learned. So my CPA, when I got my new CPA at the time, he said, don't take no payments through no PayPal, do everything through your bank. You know, don't deal with them payment services like that. You know, he was just teaching me things that I didn't know, you know, because I went to him. We were so frustrated. Oh boy, that's the side of content creator they don't tell you about, is that financial side when you start making certain amounts of money. You know, so, you know, the CPA is something you definitely need.
Yeah. And again, like nobody knows the business. I would say I'm okay, but going through all the, you know, as far as how long you've been in the game and how to do it, man, I've seen you do it with multiple channels. Like I think like almost like 7 or 8 or 9 now, 9 different ones that I can see of, and still going strong. Different ways of doing it, every platform.
And I got some changes coming up next year too. So get ready. I got some changes coming. Good changes though, good stuff. And I always tell people, innovate, change your scenery, change everything once a year, so you don't make people bored.
You don't want to talk me that too.
Don't get people bored visually with you, because every 12 months change.
All right, I guess so. What I want to know is any last advice for some of the brothers and sisters wanting to come, let's say if they're even Kenyan American, Ugandan American, wanting to get acclimated back, and are African Americans wanting to come to Africa and do something. What would you suggest? How can they get started in your best opinion, just, with that journey?
Well, it all starts with a dream, right? And then after that, practicality. So, if you like say within a diaspora, start in a diaspora first, like I said earlier, and then branch off, what you're doing in the diaspora, to the continent. Now, you mentioned some Kenyan Americans or different ones who are still connected to their homeland, and I think is horrible if you don't go back to your homeland and build anything there. Just staying in the diaspora, not building nothing back home, I just think it's horrible personally. So go back to your homeland and build, because us, like, me and O'Shea, who was cut off, from that connection, we had an ethnogenesis in America, and that's great, and we gonna build and do our things that we need to do for Black America, but go back and build in your homeland as well. Don't just give all your talent to the West, because they're not gonna appreciate you. You're a doctor, lawyer, somebody great, right? You're a pipe fitter, whatever. Bring something back to your homeland, teach your people, like Muammar Gaddafi wanted the people to do.
Right. And like I said, we have to fight our way to be here. It ain't easy, to do things in Africa as African American. You go, it's a lot of hurdles you got to go through. But again, Brother Phil, I know you're a very busy person. Thank you so much for just being a blessing to us, and coming on and sharing your experience. Guys, the African Diaspora Channel got all those subscribers over there. Go over there, subscribe over there. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get him live at the bribe him to come over to Uganda and Kenya, maybe we can steal him like 3 or 4 days. Long as he don't make no videos about the
I'm good, man. I'm good. I dip in and dip out of any country.
Hey, I know somebody who made a video about a certain president, and they wrote that. I think what I'm talking about. They wrote that person a letter, and so yeah. That's
the president wrote him a letter, or somebody from the president's office.
Yeah, the president. Yeah, we see the videos you're making about our government. We would love to fly you here, so that.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. I would never put my team in danger like that. I'm talking about people that's on my team per se, not renegades, but somebody on my team. I would never let my team in that country or even close to it say things in a way because you got to live there, bro. Like, I'm way across the Atlantic. I'm not gonna. It's better for me to talk about it than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Juan Gale even made a video one time about somebody in Ethiopia, and she's an Ethiopian. They were threatening her. And I say, hey, look, just leave those stories alone.
Yes.
I'll let everybody else cover that. Leave it alone. Because I don't want you to go back and somebody touch your mama, touch your daddy, touch your brother and your dog and everything else. Nah, just chill. I know it's sad what I'm saying, but not every country got freedom of speech like that. They don't.
No, they don't.
We got to protect our people.
All right. So thank you again, Brother Phil. I took up a lot of your time and today. So guys, subscribe to African Diaspora Channel. We out.